what's going on, brother? Your man Pat Caesar LLC, towing and roadside services. I'm at the car wash right now, man. I had this subscriber from a video that I did a while back. I actually think it was a short that said that there should be death to all motor clubs. And I thought about that for a little bit. And I ain't gonna lie, for a long time, y'all already know that your homie wasn't rocking with the motor clubs like that. But I thought to myself, I thought about this long and hard. Is it possible for there to be a death of motor clubs per se, right? And the conclusion that I came to, well, we're gonna go through this video, the five reasons why you would never get rid of the motor clubs. Might be a little bit heartbreaking, but let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so first reason why there would never be a death to the motor clubs is because simply people don't have money. Now there has been periods in the economy where things were booming, people were going, things were moving and shaking. We're just not there anymore. So that extra $20 a month that's allotted to the insurance company, for instance, that you may have on your vehicle that says you get roadside assistance, they just shoot that off to a motor club. That motor club then calls service providers like myself in or out of network, and we go out there and do the job. People will have to wait. Sometimes I give people like ETAs of like 3-4 hours. And you know what they say? That's fine. We'll wait on the side of the road, rain, shine, it don't even matter, for 3-4 hours until you can get here, only because they don't want to go through the pain of calling a tow company. Outside of that, they just find on Google or Yelp because they're afraid of what they're gonna be charged. And we'll get into that in a later point. But number one, people just don't have money. So people would literally rather wait until they can get a provider through their insurance company just so they don't have to pay that extra money out of pocket. Sad as it is what it is. People simply don't have money. They'd rather go the easier route, and that's through the insurance company, AKA the motor clubs. Number two, the reason why motor clubs will not go out of business, they will not drop off the face of the planet, they will not die, is because they have better marketing. So let's just look at it like this, right? In the last, let's just say 20 plus years, towing companies have got a very bad rap from the imaging that the world has put out there. There has definitely been some corrupt tow companies out there, so don't get it twisted. And that's a whole nother conversation, because there's a lot of corrupt tow companies still out there right now that actually, they're corrupt, but they're corrupt in a legal way. It's insane. We'll get into it in another conversation. I can't do it right now. But they got a better job of marketing. So the insurance companies, AKA motor clubs, have put it out there to where people believe that they're gonna get taken by a tow company if they call them, on their own will. Sometimes that pure thought scares people off to say, I'd rather just wait for the insurance company. They're terrified. The image of the towing industry has gotten so tarnished because you got to think, the guys that do repos, they got people scared. And ain't nothing wrong with repos. I mean, if you ain't paid, you can't play, But the repo people got people scared, because every person that sees a tow truck thinks that these are what every tow truck person does, and that's not true. They don't know that though. Then on the other hand, you have, let's say, parking lot enforcement. That's what the word I'm looking for. Parking lot enforcement. They come up and snag vehicles because they park, 2 inches close to the road, and so they get their name tarnished. But the problem is, it doesn't just tarnish the name of that company, it tarnishes the image of the entire industry. Most people don't care about it like that. Where the insurance company has been put into a position to where they can pivot and make it look like they're actually on the customer side for the most part, kind of understandably so. From a customer's perspective, the tow truck drivers, tow truck companies don't seem to really be on your side. Couple that with bad customer service, and I mean, nobody wants to call a tow truck by themselves unless they're in a dire situation to have to do so. That's the simple fact of the matter. So the image of the towing industry has been tarnished for many reasons, not necessarily all self-inflicted, but a lot of it is, and that's just what it is. So some people would rather pay, number 4, reason why the motor clubs will never die. Some people rather pay with their time than actually pay with money. So going back to the same example for number 1, some customers will actually literally wait 5, 6, 8, 10, 12 hours on the side of the road for an insurance company, aka motor club, aka tow truck provider, to come out there and do their service because they don't have to pay anything out of pocket. Now, as crazy as that sounds to some people, I'm telling you, there's people who will literally camp out in their vehicle all day or all night until they can get somebody out there in their network because they for whatever reason don't value their time more than the money that it would cost, or the additional aggravation, or whatever the case is that you want to call it. And so henceforth, they'll pay with their time by sitting on the side of the road versus paying with money to get to wherever they gotta go to get their vehicle fixed. And it's understandably so. Like I say, money ain't floating around just out of thin air like it was just a year or so ago. So with that being said, people are pinching pennies. They're, robbing Peter to pay Paul in some instances. And because of that, they gotta hold on to what they can. So the motor club, like I say, got a better business model. They all in this whole thing. They don't have an expense to stop them from being able to do this. They know the customer's gonna wait. They're giving the customer a deal. They're giving the tow truck company a deal. Because I'm gonna take some off the top, don't get me wrong, but you get the customer. Customer, you ain't gotta pay nothing right now because you only been paying $10 or $20 a month in your insurance. You just gotta wait. So it's kind of a win-win if you value your money more than you value time. If you value time more than money, jump on Google, jump on Yelp, call a friend, jump on Facebook, Instagram, something. YouTube, hey, here I am. Find somebody like myself who will come and get you. But again, that's not the people who's actually watching this content. The customer base is not watching this content. And if they did, they would understand and they would probably be proactive on doing something different. But because they rather value their money more than their time, the customer shall sit. It is what it is. I think we done went over the amount of reasons why the motor clubs won't go out of business, but we're just gonna keep on going with it because I think this is number 5. It was only supposed to be 5, but then I threw another one in there within my rant. So let's just keep on rolling with it. The insurance companies, aka motor clubs, have been in business more than the collective of tow truck companies. Now, for instance, there might be a handful within America tow truck companies who's been here since the beginning. They're talking about the 40s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s type of thing, right? You don't see a lot of 100-year towing industries. There might be one towing company who passed it down to the grandkids or whatever, but it usually dies off 1 or 2 generations after that for all types of reasons. But the insurance companies, they've been around. They've been here. They're grandfathered themselves into their own position. So you cannot say that you're just gonna kill a 100-plus-year-old industry when the insurance companies, it almost makes more sense. This is a side note. It almost makes more sense for me as an owner-operator of a towing company to just be an insurance agent than it does to be a towing service provider. Why is that? It's residual. It ain't going nowhere. The tow truck can't be on the road without insurance, and you can't be on the road without insurance. So if I were to sell a product, that would be a much more sustainable product to sell simply because you can't go without it. You can, but if you get caught, you know, something happens, trust me, you're gonna be on the other side of the creek. But they themselves, Progressive, AAA, all these companies have been around. That might be a call, I gotta take this thing. For more than most tow truck companies have been in business. And that's why they're not going out of business. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. This is the last tip, bonus tip, whatever you wanna call it. The reason why insurance companies, AKA motor clubs, will never go out of business. The saddest part is, this is the whole thing right here boils down to this. There's no collectiveness in the towing industry. Now, I'm gonna say these words very loosely, so I want y'all to read in between the lines of what I'm saying. You ninjas will not stick together. I'll say that one more time. You ninjas won't stick together. Now, it's not all of y'all, I shouldn't say that. It's not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all won't stick together. You'll get somebody down the road from you who won't refer you. I had a call just yesterday. This happens so much. I had a call just yesterday. It was an hour away. Somehow I got the call. They asked if I can come and do it. They can't find nobody in the area. I'm like, you telling me y'all skip like 4 towns? You can't find nobody to go out here? They say no for whatever reason. So I said, I'll take it. I called, like I probably called 7 different tow companies, and not a single one would take the call. Now I told them straight up who I was, what I'm trying to do. Listen, I got this call. I'm willing to pass it to you. You give me $20 on top of the call. $20. Not a single person wanted to take it.
Whole tire.
You telling me you too busy to go out and do a 10-minute tire change, 3 minutes away from your location? Seriously? I mean, come on. There's no collectiveness inside of this. Now let me tell y'all one more story, and we're gonna kill it at that. There was a video that I posted up about 2 years ago that I was in my Lancer in Orlando. I'm rolling. I got to I got to Mercy Drive in Princeton, West Side. Y'all know what I'm talking about down here in Pine Hills. And I heard the woo up. The clutch slave cylinder went out. I thought I could change it on the side of the road. Ends up being internal. I jumped to Google. I called the first company. They said we'll be there and within 15 minutes. It's gonna cost X amount of dollars. I said if I can't find nobody faster or cheaper, I'll call you back. I called 2 more companies that were closer to me. According to Google, they got more expensive as I went. I called the first company back. We set up the deal. 13 minutes later, he showed up. He said he'd be there in 15. He showed up 13 minutes later. But check this out. It wasn't the same company that I called. It was a company within an umbrella of companies that actually came to do the call. You know why? Because they had brotherhood. They had collectiveness. And most people will not do this in the towing industry. I have personally tried. I have tried with a plethora of people. And if you ever work around me, if you ever like in my vicinity, you know that you, and I want, if you in the comments right now, say, yo, that ain't no cap. I put money in your pocket. If you know me and you around my area and we link up, I put money in your pocket. By either a referral, I've helped people. But to get other people to help back, man, it could be pulling teeth. So again, there's no collectiveness inside of this. The main reason why motor clubs won't die is 2 main reasons, really. Because there's a stigma against tow truck drivers. It's cheaper for the customer in their head, even though it's really not. Most people only break down a few miles away from their house. But the main reason to bring this whole thing together, because there's no collectiveness between the towing industry. One company won't call another company. If somebody asks for a referral, you won't refer them. You'll call somebody else 30 miles away to come in because you're too afraid of somebody to come in your area that's right down the road. Y'all both on Google. Y'all both are on Yelp. But you're too afraid of that. And then you turn around and say, well, I don't have any competition. But you won't refer your own brother, your own sister, your own cousin. That's what I'm trying to say. So there's no collectiveness inside of this industry. And it's sad. It shouldn't be like that because there's small pockets of people who do it and they know exactly what I'm talking about. But for the most part, ninjas don't collectively come together to be able to take the industry to another level. And that's the reason why. But I hope y'all caught something out of this. If I'm lying, let me know in the comments down below. Please tell me something that I have not covered in this to figure out why there's always gonna be motor clubs, because I'm pretty sure there always will be. And if I'm lying, I'm dying, and well, we all dying, I guess, so maybe I am. I don't even know. But either way, mi gente, I'm out of here. Like, share, subscribe. Catch your homie on the other side. For those of you who have been asking, yes, you can link up with your homie. You can link up by clicking the link in the bio, set up a consultation. Roadside Guide to Profits is still available. However you want to get in contact with me, if you want to learn more about the towing and roadside industry from the inside perspective, I got you covered. Click the link in the bio, man. And until next time, for everybody else, mi gente, be pro mundo beneficioso siempre.